Hi guys, and welcome back to a new video. Today I'm going to share with you one of my favorite projects so far, so stay tuned if you want to see how I created this 3D paper pixel art project. The base for this project is a pixelated version of a picture or a photograph that I really love, which is this iconic telephone portrait of Lady Gaga. The way I achieved this was to use multiple cross-stitch pattern websites to turn the picture into pixels of color. I'll list a few down below, but there are plenty of websites that allow you to turn a photo into a pixelated version. So once you have your design, all you'll need for this project is some colored paper. So that's going to depend on the colors you need for your project, and it's also going to depend on the quantity needed for each color. And you'll also need a thick cardboard to support the project. I went with black for the background, but you can pick any color you like. I would also recommend getting a pair of scissors. I would recommend a large one and a small one for more detailed cutting, a ruler, and double-sided tape. I'll be showing you how I designed the little pyramids of pixel that I made. You can use a much bigger piece of paper. I'm not sure why I went with such a small piece of paper to design this, but basically I made a 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter square with 1 centimeter long sides to make the sides of the pyramid. And it'll all make sense once I show you how I folded it, but I basically wanted my portrait to have a bit of texture and also some 3D effect instead of just painting it on a piece of paper. So once you've made that little pyramid, you can just cut along the sides, and then once you've cut those, you can just fold them along the inner side of the square to make a little pyramid. I'll show you in a second what that looks like. I've also included a little diagram of how I designed this little pyramid so that hopefully it makes more sense, and then you can follow along if you want to try this project. So now you can see what this looks like once the sides are folded. I would recommend making a little template of that flat pyramid on a solid piece of cardboard paper, just like I've done there, and then you'll have to cut out all the little pieces from every color you need, depending on how many squares you need for each color. So that's what you can see me doing here. I usually just cut out bulk pieces of that same color, so I'll use a piece of paper and then repeat the pattern as many times as I can, and then cut out however many pyramids I need. For this color, I needed 81 full pyramids as well as 33 half pyramids, and I'll show you in a second how I cut them in half to make the half pyramids. So for the half pyramids, all you really need to do is cut a full pyramid in half, and just cut as many as you need for each color as well. So once you're done cutting all the pyramids and half pyramids, I would recommend sorting them by color as well as by full pyramids and half pyramids, just to make it easier once you need to assemble the whole project. So as you can see, there are quite a lot of pyramids in this project. For this portrait in particular, I've had to cut 864 pyramids, which is a very time-consuming project, but it is very straightforward, and now I will show you how I folded them. So the best way for me to fold these little pyramids and half pyramids was to use the edge of a ruler to make a nice crease along the inner square. I'm sure there's a much easier, probably more efficient way to fold these, but that's what worked for me. And all you really need to do is just fold the little flaps and little sides of the pyramid along the inner square lines.
Just be. Don't take it. Take it. Just don't deal and live my life. Don't take it personal. I ain't lying. I ain't hiding. I've been grinding, multiplying. I've been trying to get my weight up, staying prayed up, meditating and taking time away. You always posting up pictures, trying to look like you winning. I'm writing rhymes in the kitchen, soaking in moments we live in, yeah. You got the nerve to be.
So now that all the pieces have been folded, I separated them by color so that it makes it a lot easier to follow the pattern.
I'm on hiatus. I'm on hiatus. I'm on hiatus. Baby, don't check for me.
This is where the fun part starts. So now that you've cut all the pieces and folded them and arranged them by color, you can now prepare the background. So this portrait has 36 by 24 pixels, and they're 1 centimeter wide each. And to make sure that my portrait is centered, I drew lines along the middle of the length and the width of the cardboard paper.
Season, lay foundation, make a name for generations, please and make a, then take a break or a little vacation and chasing blues away. You always posting up pictures, trying to look like you winning, or look like you always be working, soaking the moments you live in, yeah. You got the nerve to be on me, faking your life for the IG. If you got my number, don't add me.
Once that's done, you can start adding the pixels to the background. I start in the middle, so along the center line, and then work my way outwards just to make sure that the picture stays centered. So all you really need to do is just apply a strip of double-sided tape and then follow the pattern. I strongly recommend putting all the pieces you need on the side, just like I've done. And that way, all you need to do is just add them along so that the tape doesn't dry out. It just makes it go a lot easier and it goes a lot faster.
I'm in a place serene and pure and free. Hey, I ain't worried about what's the wave, only worry about me, yeah. Oh, time out to be and live my life off screen. Taking time out to be and live my life.
So as you can see for this project, I decided to start with a double line in the middle and a double line across. still in the center of the project just to make sure that it stays lined up. And because the pyramids are handmade and hand folded, they're not perfect. Mine were definitely not identical, so you might see some of the sides are a bit wonky. I'm not too bothered about this. I like the handmade effect it has, but if you do want to avoid that and you want nice straight lines, I would recommend maybe making a grid system with a bit of space between each square so that they all follow the same line. If you put them next to each other just like I did, some of them are gonna stick out. I'm sure you can see in the video they're not perfect, but that's up to you what you want as a result. This is it for today's video / tutorial. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. It's definitely a very time-consuming project, but it is very satisfying to assemble once the pieces have all been cut and folded, and I love the overall effect. I have this hanging above my bed. I think it looks really cool. And if you've liked it, please don't forget to like this video and subscribe, and I'll see you next week. Bye!